Hey guys, this story's called Late Night. Lately, I haven't been sleeping much. There's a lot on my mind, and I've always been prone to insomnia, anyways. The last few days, it's been bad. Bad enough that I'm lucky if I get 3 hours tops. Last night was my Friday, and I had planned on staying up, but I hadn't planned on pulling an all nighter. I'm working on a personal writing project, and I lost track of time. I took a break around 3 in the morning, got up to stretch and eat. I passed my living room on the way to the kitchen. Like a lot of people, I have my television on all the time, just on a low volume because I like having the background noise. I live in a very small town, and the local news still has the traditional sign off when the program ends for the night. An American flag waves while the anthem plays, and the message bids the viewer a good night. After that, it's just a test pattern until 6, when the early guys come on. When I passed by, the anthem was just coming on to an end. I made a sandwich, and on the way back to the bedroom, I stopped to change the channel to something else. But the station wasn't playing its usual test pattern, and I sat down to see what was going on. Around here, the Forest Services put out emergency broadcasts when someone goes missing or there's an issue in the park, because our town is basically bordered on 3 sides by very dense woodland. Anything that happens in the park affects us almost immediately, and alerts aren't that uncommon. I wondered if someone had had an issue at one of the campgrounds, and I figured I might as well see what was going on before going back to work. If it was a major issue, they were going to call me in anyways, might as well beat them to the punch. I ate my sandwich and muted the TV so I wouldn't have to listen to the tone. Whoever was running the alert wasn't using a canned message, so the standard alert was still flashing. I found it odd that they'd be running it so early. Generally, if a major issue comes up in the small hours, the tornado sirens are turned on and the cops will go door to door. It's a very small town, so that's not an impossible task. The only times in my memory that we've had to do this were when the tornadoes touched down outside the town limits and last year, when a wildfire hopped the state border and was coming at us faster than anticipated. But I've never seen an alert run after about 10 at night, so it was strange to see an emergency alert now without hearing the sirens running in tandem. The standard screen flickered for a second, which usually signals the end of the tone and the beginning of the actual message, so I unmuted the TV. I caught the tail end of the tone before it switched to the interval honk, or however that flat tone is called. A message appeared very briefly, but I didn't have time to see it, and you can't, of course, rewind emergency broadcasts. A second message popped up. Please be advised. I laughed and started to pull my phone out of the pocket for a screenshot. I know the people in charge of the broadcast system, and they get hell about typos from the higher ups, but before I could take a picture, the message disappeared and was replaced with a real-time one. Whoever was writing it was typing fast and inaccurately. This is around when I started to get a bit uneasy. Please do not contact emergency services or family members. We are aware of the situation. The message disappeared and there was a brief pause. I sent a text to a buddy of mine who also tends to stay up late and told him to turn on the news. A new message, pre-typed, appeared. Please ensure that all children are present before making a report. False reports are subject to. The message cut off. Nothing from my buddy. I started scanning the news on my phone for any breaking stories, but I didn't see anything. The weather was calm. There was no fires. They can move. My phone buzzed and I pulled up the message. My buddy was watching and was just perplexed, so I called him. We talked while we watched the alert. Call the police. You seen this? My friend said. The fuck are they doing? Well, who's doing it? It's not a drill. It doesn't say if it's just a test. We were both quiet. We read the new message. Make them run. If they can't go back inside and call 911, don't let kids see themselves. We don't know what happens. There's no way this is a joke. Dude, someone's gonna get fired. I couldn't tell if it was trying to make me laugh or himself. At the tree line, they get stuck and they run in place, or they turn into something else. Please do not be afraid. They aren't your children. Your children are asleep. Both of us were quiet. Please avoid going between levels of your house. Stay where you are. Your children are not outside. They are upstairs in bed. What do we do? My buddy asked. Don't go up your stairs, I guess. Then we both started laughing for some reason, and we didn't stop until the next message popped up. Stay where you are. Your children are sleeping. They are asleep. Do not move. Just stay where you are. Please stop calling. Don't look outside. It's not them. Read the prompts and follow. We don't know what they are. Stop calling. Weapons are ineffective. They can't leave the trees. Stay where you are. They are not your children. Suddenly, the broadcast ended, and the test pattern came up. My buddy and I waited for a bit and then hung up. I turned the TV to another channel and got up to look out the window. My property includes several acres of heavily wooded land, and I looked out in the backyard where the tree line is cleared. At the edge of the trees, I saw what I think was a small boy. He was running in place, in a very slow, almost robotic way. I couldn't make out any details, but it seemed familiar. He continued to run in place, his legs moving in big, exaggerated arcs, his arms pumping. I looked down for a second to unlock the door, and when I looked up, he was gone, as if he'd never been there. I closed the door and locked it and moved to the bedroom. I made sure all the blinds were closed, but I didn't get much more work done. I didn't work for the next 2 days, but this morning I texted my buddy to see what he's heard. He says only a few other people saw the broadcast, and the guys in charge are in deep water. As to whether or not the situation, whatever it was real, it seems no one's talking. But he says our park has an emergency meeting this morning. We've all been advised to keep an eye out for any unusual activity. They haven't specified what the activity might be. I doubt we'll ever learn anything, one way or the other, but I think I'll keep my blinds closed at night for now. Oh, that was interesting. I couldn't imagine being that well, actually, I'm already pretty paranoid, so I probably already have all my blinds closed and my doors locked. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Sweet nightmares.